Welcome to another episode of Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise Retirement Podcast, where certified financial planner Lauren Sherman shares thoughts on having a healthy mind, body, and spirit, an abundance of wealth inside portfolios and out, and lessons learned from clients and mentors over the years.
Thank you for joining in for another Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise Retirement. I am your host, Lauren Sherman, and today we are going to revisit a timely topic. Actually, one that we covered about this time last year. And if you are of Medicare age, you know all too well what I'm talking about. It's Medicare's annual election period right around the corner. And with this comes an important time to review and potentially improve your coverage and or your premiums. Being October and with Halloween right around the corner, last year I had some fun with the title as I called our talk Ghosts, Goblins, and of course, Medicare Drug Plans. I encourage you to check out that episode, particularly the PDF cheat sheet that is included for that one. For that episode, I focused much more on the prescription drug side of things. If you are not sure how to bring the cost of your prescription drugs down, please reference that cheat sheet as it is a simple one-pager that walks through 5 steps to be sure you are not overpaying for your prescriptions. Even retirees who are really on the ball with this stuff often miss out on 1 or 2 of those steps. So that's a great place to start. I've linked that in the show notes so you can easily find it. I have 2 more Medicare-related episodes that I will link for your convenience. I won't rehash those in detail right now, but to give you the high-level overview, the second is titled 7 Questions to Ask Before You Turn 65. If you don't want to listen to the whole episode, you can find those 7 questions in PDF format. This one takes a big picture look at 7 important questions to ask when finding the right company or advisor to assist you with Medicare. Even if you're well past age 65, I think this still has some great nuggets for anyone on Medicare. And the third that is becoming more and more relevant with how the Medicare landscape is shifting, that one is titled, What's the Deal with Medicare Advantage Plans? I say that the Medicare landscape is shifting because back when these plans first came around, very few people signed up for them and traditional Medicare supplements still dominated the marketplace. Now, as benefits have gotten better and better and plans continue to offer more coverage, whether it's dental, hearing, and vision coverage, gym memberships, or monthly allotments that you can spend however you wish as long as it's toward your health in some way, there are even opportunities for some retirees to essentially get a refund on their Part B premium called the Part B Give Back, which for most of you, the Part B premium is what is automatically deducted from your Social Security check. On top of all of these additional benefits that retirees have access to, there has also been an expansion of networks over the years. It used to be that if you wanted to look into a Medicare Advantage plan, there may have only been a few to choose from in your area, and perhaps only a limited number of doctors accepted the coverage. Now, we've seen companies like Unity Point and Blue Cross enter the market, adding to the list of others like Aetna, AARP, and Humana. So the number of options continue to increase, as have the number of doctors who accept coverage. And with emergencies being covered everywhere without network limitations, even retirees who travel a lot are finding that Medicare Advantage can be a great fit. Due to all of these improvements, it's my belief that Medicare Advantage will eventually overtake Medicare supplements as the most popular choice. And actually, this has already happened in several states, just not here in Iowa yet. So that episode is also worth revisiting with Medicare Advantage plans becoming so popular. I may even end up recording another one for you just to get an updated episode out there with all of these changes. So that's what I have out there for you so far, and for simplicity, I linked the PDF cheat sheets for each of those in this episode. I thought it was worth mentioning that to start with in case you're listening in today and think that I overlooked something. It's possible that it's already been covered in one of those past episodes. Of course, with that said, there very well could be some things that I leave out, so if you have any questions or if I forget something, don't hesitate to call me out and shoot me a message about it. For today's episode, my goal is to give you a high-level overview of the process our firm offers retirees called our Medicare Readiness Report. And after listening, if this sounds like something you'd like to take advantage of, we are happy to help, and I've included a link for you in the show notes if you'd like your own report personalized to you. The Medicare You handbook is a full 124 pages. If you're of Medicare age, there's a good chance you've received an invite to a Medicare luncheon or presentation of some kind. For some of you, maybe you have 10 or 20 of those invitations. Or, if nothing else, you've almost certainly received a mailbox full of solicitations and will see the endless number of commercials discussing Medicare plans. But it is not more information retirees are needing. Using a quote from my previous episode, you can Google information, but you cannot Google wisdom. And part of wisdom is being able to take something complex and simplify it. Another one of my favorite quotes goes something like this: "Sorry this is so long, I didn't have enough time to make it shorter." I laugh at this one a bit because I'm sometimes guilty of this, but the idea is that being able to omit information that does not apply is just as valuable as including the important information. I've met plenty of retirees with what you'd call a more meticulous personality, and they've read all 124 pages of that Medicare You handbook. Often, they've also watched a webinar or went to an in-person presentation. The problem is they still don't know what to do because the information is not specific to them personally. What the Medicare Readiness Report does is it cuts through all of the noise and simplifies things with a one-page output showing you the two options that most closely fit your needs. The first option is what I refer to as Traditional Medicare. This is where you pay a separate premium for each part. First, you have a premium for your Medicare supplement. Next, you have another premium for your drug plan. And finally, you have the option to add dental, which often can include a vision or hearing benefit that comes with the dental plan. Of course, on top of all of this, you still have your Medicare Part B premium, which for most comes directly out of your Social Security check. With this first option, we take a very simple approach. We look at your birth date, zip code, and your overall health when reviewing Medicare supplement options. We also look at what discounts you are eligible for, such as a non-tobacco discount, a household discount if you live with someone else, which even if that person has a separate plan, or they might not even be of Medicare age, this discount can still apply. And there are even discounts by some companies for paying annually instead of monthly, or for wearing some type of watch like a Fitbit that tracks your steps and calories burnt. We can shop all of the companies in your area with just a few clicks of the mouse, but it's not always as simple as selecting the least expensive option, as we also want to be sure we are working with companies that are highly rated and have a good history of keeping rates low. This last one of keeping rates low is often the most overlooked variable when reviewing your supplement rate. It's often best to avoid companies that are brand new to the Medicare market and have no history of rate stability. And it's also easy to avoid companies that start with a low rate but have a history of drastic rate increases. The challenging part here is that companies do not tend to make this information open to the public or easy to find. So behind the scenes, that's a little bit of what goes into finding the right Medicare supplement, but to streamline all of this when it comes to the Medicare Readiness Report, you simply see the final price and the company name. One last thought before moving on from Medicare supplements. I mentioned a lot of variables that we need to consider, but you didn't hear me mention the two that you may be thinking are most important, and those two being how well it pays and where the coverage is accepted. The reason I left these two out is that Medicare determines both, not the insurance companies. For example, if you are comparing one company's Plan G to another company's Plan G, the coverage will be identical as the benefits are federally regulated. Same goes for where coverage is accepted. You could compare Blue Cross, Aetna, Mutual of Omaha, or any number of Medicare supplement companies. Whichever you choose, you won't have to worry about if your doctor or hospital accepts the coverage, because if they accept Medicare, they will take whichever supplement company you have as well. So an easy way to remember this is that if Medicare pays, your supplement also pays. If Medicare does not cover something and does not pay, your supplement will not either, as they will never even see that bill. So the two are always working in tandem. Moving on to the prescription drug review of this first option with Traditional Medicare, we simply take a full list of your prescriptions with the dosage and frequency for each, then add in your preferred pharmacy. This will let us shop every drug plan in your area. Without this step, it is challenging to find the right plan that best fits your prescriptions, as there tends to be about 30 or so plans to choose from. And finally, to finish out the review of this first option, we include any dentists or eye doctors that you use if you'd like this optional coverage to be part of your review. I may have made that sound like a lot, but it ends up being pretty simple with an output of 3 companies with 3 separate prices. As always, you can view a sample in the show notes to see just how simple and condensed we can get this. So to recap, with option number 1, you have a total of 3 to 4 cards. First, you have your red, white, and blue Medicare card. This one we don't have a choice on as it comes straight from Medicare. Second, you have your Medicare supplement card, where you get to choose which company you go with. Third, you have your prescription drug card. Once again, you get to choose the plan that best fits your prescriptions. And last, you have the option of adding a 4th card to cover dental, which sometimes includes vision and hearing too. Each of these cards comes with their own premium that you are responsible for paying. Option number 2, Medicare Advantage. Moving into option number 2, we take a very similar approach as we did with our first option. We gather a lot of the same information regarding your health history, prescription list, and your preferred pharmacy. Additionally, we add in your list of doctors to the mix. So this would include your primary doctor and any specialist doctors and hospitals that you use as well. This wasn't needed for our first option with the Medicare supplement, but with Medicare Advantage plans with option number 2, we want to be sure everyone is in network so that you receive preferred pricing and can continue to use your same providers. Then, once again, next we take the same approach by plugging this information into the search and can immediately see all Medicare Advantage plans in your area. Taking this route, it's pretty easy to find whichever plan closest fits your needs. Now, the real comparison can take place as we have concrete figures for option number 1 of traditional Medicare to compare with option number 2 of Medicare Advantage. If you are looking at the PDF cheat sheet that is linked in the show notes, you will notice that option number 2 with the Medicare Advantage plan, that it replaces the need for your drug plan card as well as your dental card, as Medicare Advantage typically covers both of these. You will also notice on that PDF that I've listed one more optional card that many retirees add to the second option with Medicare Advantage, and that is typically referred to as gap coverage or indemnity coverage. For a lot of retirees, adding indemnity coverage to their plan is the happy medium between paying a higher premium for everything that's included in option number 1 and paying no premiums in option number 2 with solely the Medicare Advantage plan. Just keep in mind that indemnity coverage typically does require you to answer some health questions to qualify for it, while the Medicare Advantage plans do not. So to recap, option number 2, you still have your red, white, and blue Medicare card and your Part B premium that comes out of your Social Security. Then you have a second card with an insurance company called your Medicare Advantage plan, and there's a good chance that you will want to add this third optional card called your indemnity coverage. One more thought before closing out this topic. Some Medicare Advantage companies offer what is called a Part B giveback with some of their plans. This is a way for retirees to pay less out of their Social Security account for Medicare Part B. Now, one of the neat aspects of the Part B giveback is that it is not income or asset-based. So even if you have a few $1 million in your retirement accounts, or perhaps even if you pay an IRMA amount, which is just a higher payment to Medicare based on your income, you can still take advantage of this feature if it's available in your county. The Part B giveback is also something that we automatically review as part of your Medicare Readiness Report, so often that is part of the discussion when comparing options. I think that pretty well does it for what we were looking to cover in this episode. More than anything, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of the one-page Medicare Readiness Report, as we've had a lot of great feedback from this because it takes a whole lot of information and simplifies it down to just that one page. Sometimes we have retirees who want to see under the hood a little bit more, and that's okay. We have all of that information too and can share it if needed. We've just found that often having more information doesn't end up helping people make better decisions. I'll close out today with 3 quick thoughts. The first is that for anyone making Medicare decisions, be sure to do it with someone who can show all of your options in your area, and they are not representing just 1 or 2 companies. Reviewing this stuff is just so much easier when you're looking at things objectively and not getting a sales pitch. The second thought I'll leave you with, and perhaps this isn't the crowd who needs to hear this since you're already listening in, but be sure to do a quick review of your Medicare situation each year during the annual election period. That goes from October 15th through December 7th each year. Sometimes retirees put so much pressure on that very first decision when they first start Medicare, but even when they make the best decision out of the gate, things change year to year, and it doesn't take long to stay on top of these changes as long as you know what you're doing or have someone helping out. And my third and final thought goes hand in hand with the last two. Maybe it's more of a plea than just a thought, but please don't sign up for your Medicare coverage with a telemarketer. This goes the same for any of the commercials you see on TV and probably the postcards that fill up your mailbox too. I say this because for the past 15 years I've been doing this, overwhelmingly the complaints come from people who signed up by calling an 800 number or a telemarketer of some sort. For them, everything is a numbers game to get the most volume they can, so it's unlikely they are taking the time to review your entire situation with prescriptions, doctors, and so on. It's also unlikely that they represent multiple companies to give you the true landscape of your options, and it's even less likely that they will be there for you to review your coverage throughout retirement year after year. That's not to say that we are the only firm doing this the right way, as there are a lot of honest, independent people out there who can help. But I had to give you that plea that if you get something in the mail or see something on TV that sounds interesting, call your agent or whoever helps you out. As an added bonus, this keeps your name off of their marketing list because as soon as you call in or jot down your info on a mailer, you can expect the solicitations to increase in volume. Well, I don't want to end on a negative note here, so in the spirit of adding value and offering solutions rather than just talking about the problems, I'm going to include a link in the show notes for anyone who wants us to create a personalized Medicare Readiness Report for them. You can view a sample in the show notes, but if you want these numbers specific to you, complete with the cost for each piece comparing both options 1 and 2, you can follow the link and answer a few questions about your age and zip code, the meds you take, and what type of discounts you may qualify for. As I mentioned, we will also review if you are eligible for any Medicare Part B giveback as well. That will do it for today. Check out healthywealthywiseretirement.com for all of my past episodes, and I will be back in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much for listening and supporting this podcast. If you've enjoyed listening, we would love if you took a quick moment to leave an honest review. Of course, we're shooting for 5 stars, but if you have suggestions to improve the show, we would love to hear from you too. Just click on the podcast name, Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise Retirement Podcast, and scroll down to ratings and review. Thanks again for your support, as this helps us reach a wider audience and help even more retirees just like you. This podcast is for entertainment and informational purposes only and is not intended as a specific tax, legal, or investment advice. Lauren Sherman is a certified financial planner and co-owner of Integrity Wealth Management, an investment advisor serving retirees in search of their own healthy, wealthy, and wise retirement lifestyle.